All right, so I know you love custom embroidery, that feel of the fabric, the perfect thread, bringing your vision to life, stitch by stitch. But what if I told you that AI could be like your new secret weapon?
AI and needles, really. It does kind of sound like a stretch at first. But custom embroidery is all about personalization when you think about it. And
Yeah.
AI is really good at that. The source we're diving into today is actually from a company that makes AI chatbots,
Yeah.
specifically for this industry. It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah, so we should take it with a grain of salt, you know.
That's-
It is a promotional piece, but it does have some really thought-provoking points in it. And we're not talking about those like basic bots that just like spit out pre-programmed responses. These are AI chatbots, so they learn and they adapt based on all the data they're fed.
Exactly. It's about using the power of like algorithms and data analysis to actually improve the customer experience. Like imagine you're browsing designs online. It's midnight and boom, this chatbot pops up. And it's not just giving you generic FAQs. It's giving you suggestions that are tailored to you based on like your past orders and your style preferences.
So it's like a personal stylist who also happens to be an embroidery expert, available 24/7. Talk about instant gratification. But would that make people nervous? All that data collection?
I think that's a valid concern for sure. And it's definitely something businesses need to be transparent about. But think about it. You're already sharing data online all the time,
Right.
like your shopping history, your preferences, all your social media activity. This is just using that data in a new way to try to personalize that embroidery experience.
Okay, so less big brother, more helpful personal assistant. But how does this actually work? I mean, like, what can these chatbots actually do?
Well, think about the design process. So instead of emailing back and forth, you could have a real-time conversation with a chatbot. Describe your vision, get instant feedback on different fonts and colors. You can even see mock-ups, like how that design would look on different fonts.
Then what kind of explain what you want in words? You could just show the chatbot examples or sketches and just get instant suggestions.
Yeah.
So does that mean, like, less work for the embroidery artists themselves?
It's not about replacing the artist. It's more about freeing them from all those like really repetitive tasks, like answering basic questions, or digitizing really simple designs. It lets them focus more on like the complex stuff and the creative aspects of the craft.
So it's like giving them a superpowered assistant so they can spend more time on those intricate details and those like personalized touches that make custom embroidery so special.
Exactly. And since the chatbot is handling the basic stuff, businesses can probably offer faster turnaround times. They can maybe handle more orders without having to sacrifice quality or that personal touch.
So it's a win-win for both the business and the customer. More efficiency, more personalization, and hopefully less stress for everyone involved. But what about the actual ordering process?
The source we're looking at claims that AI chatbots can streamline that too. Think about those like multi-step order forms with all those drop-down menus and all the confusing options. A chatbot can guide you through the entire thing conversationally, just like you're texting a friend.
Oh, that makes sense. And since the chatbot's gathering all the info in a really clear and conversational way, there's less room for error or miscommunication.
Yeah.
So hopefully that means fewer headaches down the line.
Exactly. It's all about like reducing friction, making the whole experience smoother and more enjoyable. And then there are all those frequently asked questions,
Yeah.
that every embroidery business gets bombarded with.
Oh, yeah, like what type of file do I need to send you? Or can you embroider on leather? Things like that. It can take up so much time.
Yeah, chatbot can just handle all of that, instantly giving people the information they need. The business owner doesn't have to do a thing. Imagine how much time you could save.
That could be huge, especially for small businesses or people who run their business solo, who are already wearing like a million hats. It's like having a virtual assistant, but it's dedicated just to customer service, which frees them up to focus on what they do best, creating all that beautiful embroidery.
It also levels the playing field too, because smaller businesses can now offer a higher level of customer service that can rival bigger companies. And they don't have to have a big team or a huge budget.
So it's not just about automation, it's about empowerment, giving businesses the tools they need to compete and thrive in a market that's constantly changing. But what happens to those jobs? The jobs that the chatbot is essentially like taking over?
The source says that it's not about replacing jobs. It's more about changing the types of jobs that are needed. So instead of needing a big customer service team to handle all those basic questions, businesses need skilled technicians to manage and train the chatbot.
So it's not humans versus robots, it's humans and robots working together. And that raises a bunch more questions about the future of work, not just in embroidery, but in a ton of other industries.
Absolutely. That's a conversation we're going to be having for a long time.
Hmm.
But for now, let's focus on what this means for custom embroidery. Because if AI can personalize the ordering process, then what about the creative process itself?
That's what I'm wondering. Can AI actually help people be more creative with their embroidery, or will it make everything start to look the same? Let's dive into that next.
It's kind of like a paradox, isn't it? You have
Mhm.
this technology that's all about like data and algorithms, and you're using it to enhance something that's really personal and creative, like custom embroidery.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, can AI actually make people more creative? Or are we all just going to end up with the same designs? Like all those AI-generated pictures you see, they're really cool, but they all have that same kind of vibe.
That is the big question. And the source we're looking at today, they're really optimistic. They say that AI can free up artists to push those creative boundaries even further by taking over those boring tasks, the ones that take forever.
So instead of spending like hours digitizing some basic font, they can experiment with different stitch techniques or come up with more elaborate designs, like one-of-a-kind stuff.
Exactly. And get this, the AI can actually help with that process too, because these chatbots, they're always analyzing data. They're figuring out trends and learning about different styles so they can actually show artists new things, like new color palettes, different motifs, even cultural references they might not have thought of.
So it's like having a global inspiration board that's always giving you new ideas. I can see how that would be super helpful, especially for artists who might be feeling a little stuck.
And don't forget about the technical side of things. AI can help with stuff like optimizing stitch paths. So that means the embroidery process is faster,
Hmm.
more efficient, and it even helps to reduce thread waste.
Wait, really? AI can make embroidery more eco-friendly. Okay, I am here for that. But what if the AI gets too good? Like, what if it's so good at analyzing data and predicting trends that every design ends up looking the same? Like, everybody just ends up with the popular style, because that's what the chatbot is suggesting.
Yeah, that's a real concern. And it's definitely something we have to think about. I think it comes down to how the tech is actually being used. Yeah. Like if businesses just rely on AI to tell them what to design, then yeah, we're going to end up with a lot of designs that look the same.
But if they just use it as a tool, something that inspires them, and they still use their own vision, their own artistic vision, then that's a whole different story, right?
Exactly. It's all about balance.
Right.
Using the power of AI,
Mm.
but also keeping that human element that makes custom embroidery so special.
It's like AI can provide all the pieces, but it's still the artist. It makes something really amazing.
And we can't forget about the customers either. They're part of the creative process too.
Yeah.
The chatbot can learn all about what they like, their style, even the story they want to tell with the embroidery.
Oh, so it's like a three-way collaboration. The customer, the artist, and the AI, all working together to bring this unique vision to life. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. But let's be real. Not every embroidery business is going to love this technology. Some people are going to be hesitant.
Of course, change can be hard, especially when you're talking about something complicated like AI. People are going to worry about how much it costs. They'll need training. And some people just don't like new technology.
Yeah, and there's the whole trust thing. Some customers probably won't want to share all their info with a chatbot, or they'll think the AI won't get what they really want.
Definitely. Businesses have to be super transparent here. Explain exactly how the AI works. Tell people what data they're collecting and how they're using it to try to give people a better experience.
It's about building trust, not just automating everything. But for those businesses that are ready to jump in, it seems like the payoff could be huge. They could streamline their operations, get more customers, and maybe even tap into a whole new level of creativity.
And it's not just about the businesses. It's about the customers, too. They get a more personalized experience, more efficiency, and it could even be more affordable.
This is all starting to sound pretty futuristic, but I keep coming back to that human touch thing. Is AI going to make custom embroidery feel less personal?
That's a big question. And it goes way beyond just embroidery. It's really about what role technology is going to play in our lives and how we can use it to make things better without losing that human connection.
Yeah, it's about finding that sweet spot where tech helps us be more creative, more efficient, more connected, but without losing the things that make us human.
I like that. Speaking of human connection, the source we're looking at today, they talk about how AI can actually help businesses with their marketing and make it feel more personal.
How does that work? Because most marketing is just annoying. It's all those generic messages that have nothing to do with me.
I know. But imagine getting a message from your favorite embroidery shop, and they're suggesting a custom design based on things you've bought in the past, or maybe an event that's coming up.
Okay, that's totally different. It's not some random ad. It's like getting a recommendation from a friend who actually knows my style.
Exactly. And because all of this is powered by AI, those recommendations can be super specific and relevant to you. The chatbot looks at your past orders, your browsing history, even your social media, and then it figures out what you like, so it can suggest things you'll actually want.
So it's like a personal shopper. But for embroidery, that's cool, but how much info is it collecting about me?
Again, it all comes down to transparency. Businesses have to be upfront about the data they're collecting and what they're doing with it. Customers should always have the option to say no if they don't want those personalized recommendations.
So it's all about finding that balance. Personalization versus privacy. But I can see how this type of marketing could be good for everyone. Businesses aren't wasting money on people who don't care, and the rest of us don't get a million emails we'll never open.
Right? It makes the whole experience better for everyone.
Mm.
And it brings us back to that question. If AI can personalize marketing messages, what else can it do?
It feels like we're just scratching the surface here. But let's not get too carried away with all the possibilities. Let's bring it back down to earth for a minute. This whole thing about AI and embroidery, it really makes you think. It's easy to get all caught up in the future and what might happen. But it always comes back to people, right? The artists, the people running the businesses, the customers. They're all connected by embroidery.
It's true. Technology is just a tool. It's how we use it.
Yeah, so how do we make sure we're using AI the right way? How do we make sure it doesn't just turn into a way to automate everything? And we lose that human element. That makes custom embroidery so special.
I think it starts with education and being really open with people. Businesses have to be honest with their customers about how they're using AI, and they have to be willing to listen to feedback and change things if they need to.
So it's not just about using the technology, it's about making sure everyone feels good about it and building that trust.
Exactly. AI is a tool. It's not a replacement. It can't replace human skill or creativity. It's all about humans and machines working together and each doing what they're best at.
Right, so the AI can do all the tech stuff, the data, the trends, but the artist is still the one with the vision.
And the customer brings their own ideas too. We can't forget that. Custom embroidery is all about letting people express themselves. It's about special moments, creating something totally unique.
And that's something that AI can't do. It can help, but it can't replace that human connection.
You know, that reminds me of something I read. It said something like, the future of embroidery isn't about robots taking over. It's about robots helping humans be even more creative.
I love that. It's humans and machines working together to make something incredible.
And it makes you wonder, what if we could do that in other areas too? Like, could AI help us write better stories? Or make amazing music? Or come up with better products?
It's like a whole new world. I'm picturing AI mini that make a sweater based on music, or a chatbot that helps you write song lyrics.
There's so much potential.
It's about being open to new things and trying new things, but also remembering to stay connected to who we are, even as we learn more about AI.
Well said. That's a perfect way to wrap things up. This has been a really cool look at how AI is changing embroidery, but it's also made us think about some bigger questions.
And as always, we want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Are you excited about AI, or are you a little worried? Let us know in the comments, because that's what the deep dive is all about, exploring these topics together.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon with another one.